Welcome back friends. In previous lecture we discussed on the writer as well as the text along with the summarization of this short story. So here we will see the most important dialogues from this story. So let's see. The policeman on the beat moved up avenue impressively. The impressiveness was habitual and not for show, for spectators were few. The time was barely 10 o'clock at night. The time was barely 10 o'clock at night. Chilly gusts of wind with a taste of rain in the day and had well de-peopled the streets. There was no people on the road, only the night time, and it is rainy season. That's why something is different atmosphere here. So let's see next paragraph. Trying doors as he went, twirling his club with many intricate and artful movements, turning now and then to cast his watchful eye down specific through fair. The officer with his stalwart from the slight swagger made a fine picture of guardian of the peace. So he is a policeman. That's why he is working on the spot. He is doing his patrolling here. The vicinity was one of the kept early hours. Now and then you might see the lights of a cigar store or of an all-night lunch counter, but the majority the doors belong to business places that had been since been closed. So all the business shops already close it. When about midway of the certain block, the policeman suddenly showed his walk. In the doorway of darkened hardware stood a man leant with an unlighted cigar in his mouth. As the policeman walked up to him, the man spoke up quickly. "It's all right, officer," he said reassuringly. "It's all right, officer," he said reassuringly. "I'm just waiting for a friend. It's an appointment made 20 years ago." Sounds a little funny, you doesn't it? Well, I will explain if you would like to make a certain. It's all straight. About long ago, there used to be a restaurant where this store stands. Big Joe Brandy's restaurant. Remember, Big Joe Brady's restaurant. "Until 5 years ago," said the policeman. "It was torn down then." Light showed a pale, square-jawed face with keen eyes and a little white cigar near his right eyebrow. His scarpin was a large diamond, oddly set. This is a conversation between the policeman and that unknown person, that is a stranger. He was talking with him about his appointment. Let's continue here. 20 years ago tonight," said the man, "I dined here at Big Joe Brady's with Jimmy Wells, my best chum. Chum means friend, and the finest chap in the world. He and I were raised here in New York, just like two brothers together. I was 18 and Jimmy was 20. I was 18, Jimmy was 20. Remember, how old was Bob? It was 18 and Jimmy was 20. The next morning I was to start for the west to make my fortune. Fortune means luck here. You couldn't have dragged Jimmy out of New York. He thought it was only the flesh of earth. Well, we agreed that night we would meet here again exactly 20 years from the date and time. No matter what, again exactly 20 years from the date and time. Our condition might be, or from the distance we might have to come. We figured that in 20 years each of us out to have our destiny work out and our fortunes made, whatever they were going to be. "It sounds pretty interesting," said policeman. "Rather a long time between mates, though, it seems to me. Haven't you heard from your friend since you left. So here policeman is asking to him, do you have in contact with him? He replied that we were in contact for some time. Later we forget each other. I don't know where is he. Well, yes, for a time we corresponded, said the other, but after a year or 2 years we lost track of each other. West is a pretty big proportions, and I kept hustling around over pretty lively. But I know Jimmy will meet me here if he's alive. For he always was the truest, staunchest, old chap in the world. He will never forget I came here 1,000 miles to stand. 1,000 miles to stand in this door tonight. How distance he came here? What was the distance? 1,000 miles. And it's worth it if my old partner turns up. So this is all about the discussion. The policeman inquired him. So let's see. 3 minutes to 10, he announced. What is time? 3 minutes to 10, he announced. It was exactly 10 o'clock when we parted here at restaurant door. Did pretty well out west, didn't you? Asked the policeman. You bet. I hope Jimmy has done half as well. He was kind of plodder, though good fellow as he was. I have had to compete with some of the sharpest wits going to get my file. A man gets grown in New York. It takes the West to put a razor edge on him. The policeman twirled his club and took a step or two. I will be on my way. Hope your friend comes around all right. Going to call time on him sharp. I should say not say, said the other. I will give him half an hour at least. If Jimmy is alive on earth, he will be here by time so long. So this is all about the conversation between the Bob and that policeman or stranger. So take he takes a leave from him and he asks him how long you are going to wait for your friends. He answered, I would be here for 20 minutes or half an hour. Let's see. About 20 minutes he waited, and then a tall man in a long overcoat with collar turned up to his ears hurried across from the opposite side of the street. He went directly to the waiting man. Is that you, Bob? He asked doubtfully. Yes, that you. Jimmy Wells? Cried the man in the door. Bless my heart, exclaimed the new arrival, grasping both of others' hands with his own. It's Bob, sure, as a fate. I was certain I had find you here if you were still in existence. Well, 20 years is a long time. The old restaurant's gone. Bob, I wish it had lasted so we could have had another dinner there. How has the West treated you, old man? Buddy, it has given me everything asked it for. You have changed lots, Jimmy. I never thought you were so tall by 2 or 3 inches. Oh, I grew bit after I was 20. Doing well in New York, Jimmy. Moderately. I have positions in one of the city departments. Come on, Bob. We will go around to a place I know of and have good long talk about old times. This is the conversation between the that person and Bob. We don't know who Bob is, we recognize, but there is another tall person. It is not exactly name of that person. The two men started up street, arm in arm. The man from the west, his egotism enlarged by success, was beginning to outline. see history of his career. The others submerged his overcoat listened to the west, interested. At the corner stood drugstore blent with electric lights. When they came into this glare, each of them turned simultaneously to gaze upon the other's face. The man from the west stopped suddenly and released his arm. You are not Jimmy Wells, he snapped. 20 years is long time, but not long enough to change man's nose from Roman to a punk. So here he it sometimes changes a good man into a bad one, say the town man. You have been under arrest for 10 minutes. Silky Bob, Chicago thinks you may have dropped over our way and avoid us. She wants to have a chat with you. Going quickly, are you? That's sensible now. Before we go on to the station, here is note I was asked to hand you. You may read it at window. It's from Petroleum Wells. Petrolman Wells. Let's see the last paragraph of this story. The man from the west unfolded the little piece of paper handed to him. His hand was steady when he began to read, but it trembled a little by the time he had finished. The note was rather short. Bob, I was at the appointed place on time. When you struck the match to light your cigar, I saw it was the face of the man wanted in Chicago. Somehow I couldn't do it myself, so I went around and got a plainclothes policeman to do the job. Jimmy. This is all about the story. So this is the sympathetic end of the story. Friend could not arrested him to Silky Bob. He recognized before when they talked each other in the rain. So it is unfortunate of both of them. Bob become a criminal and Jimmy Wells become a policeman, and the policeman wanted to catch the Silky Bob, who is a wanted in criminal world. That's why he does not catch him. He asks two other policemen to catch the person who is most wanted in the criminal world. So all about the story. Thank you.